Hello viewers, welcome to UNC Digital class. In this class I am going to discuss on the constraint on relational model. So in last video we had discussed on the different types of DBMS keys, and this lecture will be very interesting. Let us see different types of constraint in the relational model. So constraint means what? That is a condition or restriction on the actual data in the database state. Okay. So, let us define constraint. Constraint means it is a condition, or you can say it is a restriction. It is a condition or restriction on the actual data of the database state. Okay. As we already discussed about the database state, let me define the database state. So, database state means what? It means the data in the database. At a particular moment in time is called database state. Constraint means condition, restriction on actual data, the database state. Database states means the data in the database at a particular moment in time. That means in a particular moment the relation containing those data are known as the database state, and based on the database state we can define a valid state of a database and invalid state of a database. As we know, the relation having some constraints, and the valid state of relation means those relations does obey all the integrity constraints are called as the valid states, and those relations are not satisfying the integrity constraints of relational models are called as the invalid state. Let us define. The relation that obeys, that does obeys all the constraints, or you can say all the integrity constraints, all the integrity constraints are called as a valid state. We will be discussed with example. Let me define first, and the relation database state that does not satisfy all the constraint, or you can say all the integrity constraint are called an invalid database state. Okay. So, valid state means the relation database state that does obey all the integrity constraint are called as the valid state, and the relation database state that does not satisfy all the integrity constraint are called the invalid database state. So, let me explain it with one example. Suppose there is a relation, let us define me one student relation having attribute student name, student roll, student mark, and suppose student is. Okay. So, when we input tuple in the student relation and one tuple is Suppose name of the student is John, roll is 1, mark is 50. Suppose there is a constraint that is or condition that is mark should greater than 30. Okay. If I put the tuple value as John 1, mark is 50 and age is suppose 21. Then second tuple is suppose name is Smith, roll is 2 and mark is suppose 25 and age is suppose 28. So, in this relation at a particular moment this is a valid state and this is a invalid state, because it obey the valid state obey the constraint that is mark is greater than 30, but the invalid state does not obey the constraint that is mark is greater than 30. That means here here I am putting the mark is less than 30, that is why that is a this one is a invalid state and this one is a valid state. Okay. Let us discuss on different types of constraint on relational model. Okay. There are 4 types of constraint in relational model, that is the domain constraint, key constraint, entity integrity constraint and referential constraint. Okay. Let us discuss on domain constraint. So, domain constraint is what? It specifies that within each tuple the value of each attribute A must be an atomic value from the domain dom A. Okay. So, let us define it with one example. Let us see the example how the domain constraint is used in the relational model. Suppose there is a relation employee relation having attribute e-name, e-id, e-address and age. Okay. Suppose I want to provide a data for employee information or I want to put a tuple in the employee data relation, then the e-name is John Smith and id is E1, e-address is CTC and age is suppose 15. As per the domain constraint, the value of each attribute must atomic, okay, so that this will not accepted. Okay, this is the first example, and the second point is also it define the valid set of value. Okay, the age attribute having data type as number. When I put the another set of values for a particular tuple, suppose name is James and id is E2 and address is suppose BBSR, and in case of age attribute putting a number value, here I am putting suppose this value, then this cannot be accepted, okay, because the age attribute having data type that is number. So, this will not accepted, or you may say this is a invalid state. Okay. Next comes to your next constraint, that is your key constraint. Key constraint is basically used to uniquely identify a particular tuple or a row of record in a relation, and key constraint specifies there is no two tuple have same combination of values for all their attributes. Okay. It is used to identify a particular tuple or row uniquely in a relation, and second one is no two tuple can have the same combination of value for all their attributes. Let us see one example on key constraint. Suppose in the same example, suppose there is a employee relation, okay, having attribute e-name, e-id, e-name. Suppose the employee name is John, id is EE1, address is CTC and age is 15. Okay. If I am putting same combination of value for the second tuple, that means John, e-name is e-id is E2, address is suppose CTC and age is 15. So, this will violate the key constraint, because we already have a tuple with John, e-id 1, address CTC and age is 15. So, this will be not accepted by the relation EMP, because this will not satisfy the key constraint property. As the key constraint defined, no two tuple can have same combination of values for all their attributes. Okay. So, next comes to your next constraint, that is entity integrity constraint. That is integrity constraint is basically divided into two parts, that is entity integrity and referential integrity constraint. So, first let us define entity integrity constraint. Entity integrity constraint define or states that primary key value cannot be null. So, let us see one example. Suppose there is a employee relation or table having attribute employee name and employee ID. Okay. Suppose I am putting the value of a particular tuple, that is suppose employee name is John and EID is suppose E1, and entity integrity constraint states the primary key value cannot be null. Suppose this is the primary key and next is your suppose James, and the primary key that is EID is null. Okay. So, it cannot be null. That means, we cannot provide a null value from the primary key, that will violate the entity integrity constraint. Okay. Next comes to referential integrity constraint. This referential integrity constraint is related to foreign key. It specifies what? That a tuple in one relation that refers to another relation must refers to an existing tuple in that relation. Let us see one example to define the referential integrity constraint. Suppose there is a relation, student relation, and suppose there is another relation, that is department relation. Okay. The student relation having attribute student ID and DID, that is department ID. Okay. And the department relation having attribute D name and DID. And the student relation containing data, suppose student ID is 101 and department ID is 1, and student ID is suppose 102 and department ID is suppose 2. Okay. And suppose there is another tuple having student ID 103 and department ID is suppose 3, and in the department table suppose the department name is BCA and another one is your BVA having department ID 1 and 2. As per the referential integrity constraint, it states that a tuple in a relation that refers to another relation must refer to an existing tuple in that relation. It means what? Here you can see that in the department table there is no department having department ID 3, but here I am putting one tuple value having department ID is 3. So, this will be not accepted because we do not have any department having ID 3. Okay. So, this tuple is not accepted into the EMP relation. So, this will not accepted. Okay. So, this is all about your different types of constraint, that is domain constraint, key constraint, entity integrity constraint and referential integrity constraint. Domain constraint specifies the valid set of value for an attribute. Key constraint specifies no two tuple can have same combination of value for all their attribute. Entity integrity constraint state that the primary key value cannot be null, and referential integrity constraint that relate to the foreign key and that refers to another relation that must refer to an existing tuple in that relation. Okay. So, let us see on the update operation and the constraint violations. There are three basic operations are used in the update operation, that is insert, delete and update. So, insert means the user may input a new tuple into an existing relation. Delete means it may delete a tuple from a relation, or modify means it may modify any tuple in the existing relation. Let us say the insert operation and how during insert operation the constraints are violated and which constraints are violated during the insert operation. So, first one is your insert operation. Insert operation means insert a new tuple into a relation. Okay. And during this insert operation, the constraints those are violated during insert operation are as follows. Okay. So, first constraint is your domain constraint may violated during insert operation. Key constraint also may be violated during insert operation. Then entity integrity constraint, and also referential integrity constraint may be violated during insert operation. So, let us discuss with one example how these constraints are violated during insert operation. In case of domain constraint, suppose we have a relation, suppose student relation having attribute student name, student roll, mark, address, department number. Okay. So, in case of domain constraint specifies that if one attribute value provided for the new tuple is not specified the attribute domain. That means, we know that the roll number having data type is number. Okay. Suppose one tuple is inserted, that is name is John and roll is 1. Okay. Instead of I putting roll 1, suppose I am putting the roll that is X, okay, or Xi. So, this is violating the domain constraint, because as we already discussed, if one of the attribute value provided for new tuple is not of the specified attribute domain, then it may violate the domain constraint. Okay. If I put the value John, roll Xi and mark is 50, address etc and department 1. So, according to this value, this will violate the domain constraint. If I put the value instead of Xi, I put 1, then it will be accepted. Okay. Then next comes to key constraint. Okay. Key constraint specifies no two tuple can have same combination of value for all their attribute. Okay. This key constraint specifies no two tuple can have same combination of value for all their attribute. If I am putting one tuple value, that is suppose John, roll is 1 and mark is 50, etc and 1. You can see the tuple 1 containing those values and these values are also present in the tuple 2. So, this will violate the key constraint. Okay. That means, the key constraint cannot satisfy the same combination of all values in two tuple in a relation. Okay. So, this may be a invalid value for the relation student. Okay. Let us see next constraint, that is your entity integrity constraint. If I am putting a value, suppose James, roll number as null and mark is 60, address is VBSR and department number is suppose 1. Okay. Entity integrity constraint specifies that the primary key cannot be null, but in this case of tuple 2, here I am putting the primary key value as null. So, this will also not accepted. Okay. Then comes to your referential integrity constraint. As we know that referential integrity constraint is related to foreign key. Suppose there is another table, that is your department table having attribute D name and D number. Okay. D name and D number, and D name is suppose the department name is BCA and department number is 1 and the department name is BBA and department number is 2. Suppose I am again putting another tuple in the student relation having name Smith, roll is suppose 2, mark is 75, address is CTC and the department number is 3. but here you can see in the department table there is no department having department number 3. So, this will violate the referential integrity constant. Okay. Then next I am putting another value, suppose name is John, roll is 10, mark is 70 and address is suppose CTC and department number is 2. This will accepted by the relation because it not violating domain constraint, this tuple is not violating domain constraint, this tuple is not violating key constraint, this tuple is not violating the entity integrity or referential integrity constraint. That is why this tuple is accepted by the student relation. Let us see the delete operation. In delete operation, it will delete the tuple from the relation, and during delete operation only the referential integrity constraint may violate. Okay, let us see the example. In delete operation, delete the tuples from the relation or from the existing relation, and during delete operation only the referential integrity constraint may violated. Let us see with one example. Suppose this is a student relation having attribute name, roll, mark, address and D number, and these are the tuples of the student relation, and there is another relation, that is department relation having attribute D name and D number. Okay. Suppose from the department relation, that is the query, that is delete the tuple from the department relation having D number 1. Okay. If I delete the department number 1 from the department relation, then it will violate the referential integrity constraint, because in the student table the student tuple having department number 1. So, if I delete this one from the department table, then this will violate the referential integrity, because this value, the department number value is refer to the student table, that is the attribute D number. So, in this way the delete operation may violate the referential integrity constraint. Next we will know the update operation. Update operation means it may modify the value of a particular attribute for a particular tuple in a existing relation. So, update operation means to change, or you can say modify, to change the value of a particular attribute for a particular tuple in an existing relation. Okay. And during this update operation, the two constraints may violated, that is your entity integrity constraint and second one is your referential integrity constraint. How the entity integrity constraint is violated and how the referential integrity constraint is violated. So, let me define entity integrity constraint means it state that the primary key cannot be null. That means, if I am putting or if I am modifying the value of a particular student, that is suppose I am putting the roll number as null. Okay. So, it may violate the entity integrity constraint, because the entity integrity constraint state the primary key cannot be null. If I am modifying the tuple to roll number as null from 2, then it will violate the entity integrity constraint. In the same process, the referential integrity may violate it if I change the value of tuple number 3, the department number as 3, it will violate the referential integrity constraint, because we do not have any department having department number 3. If I modify this value, the department number value, then it will violate the referential integrity constraint. Okay. So, this is all about your update operation and constant violation during update operations. So, in today's lecture we had discussed on the different constraint and the constant violation during update operation. If you have any doubt, please mention in the comment box. Thank you. Have a nice day.